Hello and welcome to an amazing opportunity in conversation with a woman who has had a stellar year, an absolutely stellar year. If you think about from AFCON to absolute greatness, whose name comes to mind? Thembi Kgatlana, the Momentum Athlete of the Year, the Sports Personality of the Year at Feather Awards, and the CAF African Women's Footballer of the Year. Oh my word, you have had an incredible year.
Whew, yeah, I've had an incredible year, and every time I get amazed when I'm nominated for something.
Yes.
But the amazement is something that really drives me to say there's no limit to anything, and that your hard work never goes unnoticed.
I'm looking at these trophies and I'm thinking of all the hard work that went into this over the last year. Take us back to AFCON, because that was what really spiraled you out of control in terms of your rise.
I think AFCON was really special to me, to my career, and that 2018 AFCON, I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life, because I went to 2 AFCONs before that.
Yes.
I worked really hard, but nothing came about, and I went to the US in 2019, my first contract with Houston Dash, and I think I used that AFCON because I was really hungry. I never got enough time to play in the American League, and when I got to AFCON, I just thought to myself, you've wanted to play and now is the time to play, and for me AFCON 2018 was the best.
Player of the Match award, so many goals, Player of the Tournament, African Women's Footballer of the Year. What did that do for your career?
I think winning all those accolades and being nominated for African Player of the Year, who would have thought?
I'm actually getting goosebumps still thinking about that, because
at 22.
A nomination itself was big, right?
Yeah.
But to win it overall must have been massive.
Yeah, I think the nomination for African Player of the Year, I got it in 2017, and at that time I knew nothing.
Yes.
Because I thought to myself, how can I possibly be in that big list?
Yes.
And I'm not even having a professional contract, and when I got a professional contract, I knew that it was about time I step up and be able to compete. And when I got that nomination for the second time, looking at the way I performed at AFCON, for some reason I knew that I was going to take it, but your mind plays with you.
Of course.
But yeah, it was a great year for me.
For a long time, Banyana was the summit, right, for you, and then you got an awesome opportunity to head off to Houston Dash. How big was that American move for you?
The American move was huge for me. I think it's the one that made me to be who I am today, because you look at the way the league is set up. Americans are known to be athletic, and when I went there, yes, I struggled a bit because I was hardly training in South Africa because of the setup here, and when I got there, I really had to train every day, 7 days in a week, prepare for matches, prepare for fitness tests, and I think that really, built my body, and I had
You became a machine.
Yes. And having to go to AFCON, I felt like playing a game after 2 games was something that I'm used to, and my body was really equipped for that.
What's so interesting about your story is everyone would have thought the US is the big summit. That's the one you play for. And there you go, after spending some time in the US, and you make a massive decision to go to China. Now, in so many ways, it's huge. But what was the decision? What made you decide China was the way to go?
I think after I went to the US, I realized I needed a challenge, especially going into AFCON.
That's a big challenge.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I set a challenge for myself that if it's possible, I stay more time in the US. But if I get a contract in another country, I would go just to challenge myself, to see how far I can go and to see what I can reach. And I understood that the Chinese market is open, so I thought, why not? Let me go there. Let me go try it and see what works and what doesn't work.
Hard though. I can think of so many reasons why I wouldn't go to China in terms of the comfort level that you have playing in South Africa is huge. But then you have a look at going to China, there's food, there's language, there's just general everything that is going on. How did you find Thembi settling down in China? How did you find some comfort zones for yourself?
I think I'm not a very difficult person, and the fact that when I went to China and I agreed to sign on the dotted line, I told myself that I'm going to another part of the world. they do things differently, so I'm not going to be comfortable, I'm not going to feel at home. And if I really want to pursue my career, and if that's a deep end for me, let me throw myself there, let me see what I can get out of China. And when I got there, yes, things were quite difficult for the first 2 months.
What was hectic for you when you first got there?
Using chopsticks.
Using chopsticks.
It's quite difficult. You need a certain technique to use the chopsticks, and those people, they just flow with the chopsticks because they grew up using chopsticks. I'm used to fork and knife. I get there, there's hardly fork and knife. It's crazy because now you have to eat, there's no fork and knife. Either you learn or you don't eat.
Yes.
So you are caught in between what to do and what not to do.
And you got to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, don't you?
Yes, I think I was very comfortable with not knowing what to do in China, and that really came into my life. The language quite difficult, but the girls in the team are learning to speak English, although it's a bit funny.
Yes, and they probably think it's funny when you speak and you're trying to understand them. But communication is important. So you have a translator in China?
Yes. We have a translator in China, and I think he's played a huge role into making sure that Linda and I are settled, that we understand what to do. And I mean, if the translator was not there, I would have been a different player, because then I wouldn't know what to do and at what stage. I wouldn't know what the coach wants from me. I wouldn't know how to step up. But I think our translator made things easy for us, because he tells us what to do, what to expect from the coaches and what the coaches expect from us. So I think that way makes things work a little bit easier for us.
What are you bringing back from all these opportunities that you're getting to play overseas? What do you bring back to the Banyana camp?
I think I bring fitness, I bring experience, I bring a lot of knowledge, because in Banyana, yes, we came together. But if you look at the standards of being in the team, yes, we are at national level. But if you go outside and you take Thembi out of Banyana and place her in a team, it's completely different. I have a setup where I have to go to training each and every day. I have to perform at the highest level. I have games week in and week out, and my body is used to that. So when I come to the national team, I'm a level ahead of my peers, because yes, they do train every day, but at what level are they training? So for me, it's something that I bring into the team, and I'm sure when I come into the team, there's a lot of competition then, because players want to step up, they want to be at that level, they want opportunities to go overseas.
If you just joined our interview, we're chatting to the Momentum Athlete of the Year, Thembi Kgatlana. She's our November cover star, and we're looking back on a scintillating year for her. It's not just about the football field. There's opportunities like this where you get to grow your brand, and I just feel personally you're doing a good job. How are you getting it right?
For me, I think building a brand is very important, because you look at life in general. You do something for a few years, and then after that there's life. So for me, it's not only about being Thembi, playing for Banyana or playing for Beijing. For me, it's much more about giving back to the community, because where I come from, there's not a lot of opportunities. So having to have a brand, having to get people to work with me to be able to give to the community is what really matters for me. Yes, outside of football, I want to go to schools. I want to encourage people that they can become better, that they can change their lives, and get there and inspire other people. So for me, it's not only about sports, but being in the community and making a change.
And you are making a change with your tournament. I mean, you're 23, you launched a tournament at the age of 20. A lot of people are rather taking that money and doing other things with it. Tell us about the tournament, which initially only attracted male footballers.
My tournament is my brand. And if I'm not playing football, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that once in a year, there's people that are playing the sport that I love, and I get to watch them, because at the tournament we try to bring in scouters, where they have to view the talent, because like I said, I had to force myself out of the community to look for opportunities. But with what I've achieved, I believe that I can bring opportunities to the community, where people don't feel worthless, where people feel like they're valued, and where people don't have to not really work hard, but they don't have to give up because there's no opportunities.
But you are seeing the value in what they're doing.
Yes.
But you also need partnerships, and I believe La Liga has been really instrumental in getting you to grow this.
Yeah, I mean, La Liga has been an amazing anchor and pillar to my tournament, because you look, I partnered with them earlier this year for women development, and this is our third year of running the Thembi Kgatlana tournament, and the first 2 years we've been running with males, and now this year La Liga came in and they thought, why don't we have a female tournament?
I love it. Yes.
Why don't you inspire other females? Why don't we bring females together in the name of sport? And I thought to myself, actually that's going to work, because a lot of people who are looking up to me are not males, they are females.
But
And
when you said no to the males and said that you're only doing
Yeah,
women's
yeah.
football this year, I'm
I
sure they
think-
weren't happy.
Yeah, the males were not happy that I had to ditch them. And for me, it was not an easy decision, because at the end of the day, the La Liga are the ones that are backing me up. And having to, build a relationship with them is what matters for me, because me and La Liga are bringing the change into the community.
And you need a focus.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and the women, we need young girls to aspire to be you. And if they get to play in a tournament that is run by you, in 10 years' time, you're going to watch them possibly playing for Banyana.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about the tournament. Like I said, we're bringing in scouters to be able to look at the girls. I mean, how many girls want to play for Banyana?
Yes.
This might be the right opportunity, because we'll get the national coaches for the junior teams and for the senior teams to be there. Most of them are under Banyana setup, but I mean, that playing in the Thembi Kgatlana tournament can improve and enhance your chances, where the coaches don't get time to go around the country to look at the talent. So what we do is we bring everyone together, we make a festival so everyone can enjoy.
And your family plays such a crucial role. I love the fact that even when you're not in South Africa, your family ensure that that tournament is a success.
My family are my pillar. You
Yes.
know, my family, if I'm not there, I know that my family has got my back. Last year I was in the US, but they successfully held that Thembi Kgatlana tournament with me not being there, and it was a success. People actually loved it and they wanted to come. That is why I think the boys were quite disappointed that there's no tournament this year, because of the things that my family did,
Yes.
the luxury things to make sure that the tournament goes well and that everyone is happy.
But you are going to be there this year, a historic moment to have this all-girls tournament. What is your advice to people who want to contribute, get involved in the work that you're doing there?
My advice to the people who want to contribute is, most of them or most of these people come from communities. We are the ones at the top, and let us inspire the next generation by going to them, giving them opportunities. There's a lot of drug abuse in the communities, people are being raped, but when we bring these opportunities, we're giving them hope, because imagine someone waking up with no goal, with no purpose, and later in the year there's a Thembi Kgatlana tournament and you realize, oh my word, Thembi is only 23 and she does so much for herself and for the community. I mean, that only doesn't give you hope, but it makes you realize that you can be anything that you want to be in the world.
You're sitting here today, and when I ask you to look back and review where things were when you lived in Motlakeng as a young child, did you ever in your wildest dreams think in 2019 you'd be sitting here celebrating as hard as you are?
Not in my wildest dreams. Every day I think when I step on the field, I'm a different player compared to who I was 90 minutes before that. Because every time I step on the field, I tell myself it's a different game, and I have to be a different player, because there's someone looking at me.
Yes.
Every time I step on the field, I inspire someone I don't even know. They just switch on their TV, they look at Thembi and they feel like, oh my word, that girl is is making a difference in the community, or I can be Thembi, or I can be even more than her. So for me, it's not only about wearing the South African jersey or the Beijing jersey. It's much more than that. Inspiring people to make sure that they become better.
You do know that the opening goal of the FIFA World Cup is going to be the talking point for years to come.
Yes, it's still unbelievable, but I know that that goal is not only going to inspire me or people coming after, but a lot of generations. Even when I'm no longer here on earth, there's a lot of people that are going to be told about that goal. And for me, it's, I think, the highest thing that I could have ever achieved, because looking into South Africa, there's no female league. But the fact that Banyana went to AFCON, we played the way we played, because we were determined. We went to the World Cup. Even though we scored that one goal, we were still proud of ourselves, because a lot of people want to be there, but they couldn't.
And it was such a special moment, but I want to take you back to a message you sent to me after the last year's GSpot Awards, where you asked me, what would it take for a player that plays in a team to win the Momentum Athlete of the Year? And that message really crushed me, because the people who don't win at the awards, those stories hurt more than those that win. When you sent that message to me, what was going through your heart and your mind?
I think the reason why I sent you that message is because I know how difficult it is to be in a team sport.
Yes.
Players who play in a team sport are not really valued or looked at, because most of the time it's the team that wins.
Yes.
It's the team that loses.
But you stood out. After that message, something happened where you just started shooting ahead. What powered you forward?
I think the power that I forward is that the world has to look at athletes in a team sport differently. Because it's easy to look at individual sports because it's only Thembi or it's only Kass.
Yes.
But if you look in an individual sports, there's 11 or 12 people involved. So even though you play in a team sport, you're still an individual. You
Yes.
worked harder than everyone. You make sacrifices. There's a lot of things that are actually going on around you to become a better player. But those are the things that are not looked at if you play for a team sport, because everything that you do is you are being put into a box to say this is Banyana or this is Palmer Ladies or this is that. But if you play for an individual sport, it's always that one name that always stands out.
So fast forward to this year, and I called you to tell you you had made the shortlist for the Momentum Athlete of the Year. What were you thinking then?
I thought, how crazy could this be? Because also looking at the category of Momentum Athlete of the Year,
Just type.
Kass, Gerda, individual athletes,
Yes.
and you find me, Thembi, who's in a team sport.
Did you think you stood a chance though? How did you feel? Because I mean, brilliant year, right? Brilliant year. Surely you thought, this is my year.
Yeah, surely I thought it's my year, but then you look at the competition. I think what I loved about that category is the competition. You
Just
look at Gerda, she won the marathon, the Comrades Marathon. You look at Kasta, after what she's been through, she still performed.
Yes, yes.
And then you look at me, where I've been dominating in Banyana and the World Cup and in my team, and you wonder as a person that's about to vote for these people, what's going to happen. And I always told myself each and every morning that whether I win it or not, for
Yes.
me to be nominated as Athlete of the Year next to two wonderful women, Kass and Gerda, will always be an achievement. And when I won that award, I thought to myself, how could this be possible?
What a
because-
special moment, because you weren't able to be with us. We understood you had playing commitments, but for your father, who plays such an important role in your life, growing up now as a footballer, what did it mean for you, for him to go up and accept the award on your behalf?
I think for me it was a really special moment. Most of my time of growing up, I never had my parents to support me. But today I get my father to go stand up and get a trophy for me. I think
It's like a victory for him, right?
Yeah. I think also he deserves it because he's
Yes.
been so patient. He's been supporting me, and now that I joined Banyana, he's been the one that's really guiding me, to continue going. Even when things don't seem possible, I keep on going and going until I get it right.
You've done so much this year that it's actually hard to ask you what else can happen, because it's a tough position for you to be in. The expectation now is that Thembi Kgatlana should be smashing everything she touches. Pressure, but good motivation ahead of 2020.
Yeah, I think in most of my interviews I tell people I don't know what pressure is, because now if I put myself into pressure, so and so is looking at me, so and so is looking at me. That's already pressure. The only pressure I know is from inside. The one that comes from me to say, you've played 10 games, how many goals did you score? That's the pressure that I get. Every time I step on the field for training, I push myself to say that on the next match, I want to have certain statistics.
You compete with yourself.
I compete with myself,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's the pressure that I know, because whether I work hard or not, people will always talk. Whether I win or I don't win, people will always talk. But the pressure that I get from myself is from within,
Yes.
because I tell myself, yesterday you worked hard, but after 2 hours you were tired. So today I want to go 2 hours and 10 minutes. For me, that's an achievement. I go to training. Every day I tell it down. At training, I got 5 chances. I missed 3. Tomorrow I want to become better, you know. I want to get 5 chances. I want to score 5. That's the kind of pressure I know.
2020 is a massive year. For those who haven't worked, they're really trying hard and flapping and trying to do something. You've worked consistently over the years. How are you sizing up 2020?
For me, 2020 has to be a year where I continue being consistent. You know, I told myself if I stay consistent, for me, that's what matters. If I stay consistent, all the things will follow me. Because if I start falling and I get injuries, I get worried, because then it's the kind of pressure I feel from the inside that I'm going to work hard to get well so that I can continue from where I left off. So for 2020, I'm going to go back to Beijing with my team, focus. There's AFCON coming with Banyana, and those are the things that I'm going to be focusing in 2020.
I'm so proud of how your brand has grown, because I think if I had to talk about top 5 women's sports stars in South Africa, your name is right up there. I love the fact that GSpot has been part of your journey. What does it mean to have an initiative like GSpot support you in your career?
I think GSpot is a great foundation, because you look at how it covers women's sports, not only Banyana or cricket, every female sports that go in, the boxing, the rugby, the cricket, athletics, running, whatever it is, you can name it. GSpot has been the anchor for female athletes, because female athletes don't get a lot of coverage, and you get GSpot where each and every day they try to cover female sports. And I think as a female athlete, we want to be celebrated, because that's something we don't get, you know, from our associations or from our families. We don't get support. But to have GSpot taking us and selling us to the world, I mean, it means a lot, and it makes sure that when we go to training or when we go to games, we keep on going and going, so that foundations like GSpot can inspire other female athletes.
And what is your message to young stars who want to be the next Thembi Kgatlana?
My message to young people is to be consistent. And when you are being consistent is looking after yourself, because truth be told, we live in a generation where everyone wants to be successful.
Yes.
But how do you become successful? What does it take for you to become successful? We look at the quickest ways to become successful, and most of the time we make wrong decisions. You know, I didn't become successful in 2 or 3 years. I've been playing soccer for 15 years. I've been patient. I've been going. I've been knocking on doors. Those doors have been closed. But now that I've been consistent, and I told myself, even if it takes 25 years, I will be who I am when I want to get to that level. And my message is to be consistent, and even if all your doors, all 100 doors are locked, there's one door that's going to be opening, and it's the one that's going to set your path.
You're the most formidable 23-year-old that I've met. You really are. I think you are so mature for your age, and I think that you have such an important role to play, not just in women's sport, I think in South African sport. All the best for your tournament. You know GSpot will be with you every step of the way, and well done on a superb 2019. I mean, this must be your vision board going forward.
Thank you so much. Yes, these trophies, I look at them and they're so close to my heart. Every time I go to training, I know my trainer is going to kill me, but these are because of what I do at training.
That's Thembi Kgatlana, our November cover star, talking to us about a phenomenal year, but also inspiring you to be your best in 2020. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our GSpot YouTube channel.